Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einem weiteren Video-Interview, was wir heute hier in Frankfurt führen. Gestern noch in Berlin, heute in Frankfurt. Wir sind im Silicon Valley. Nein, wir sind bei der Silicon Valley Bank hier in Frankfurt. Und ich habe gerade das Interview geführt mit Oskar Jazdowski. Er ist Geschäftsführer der Niederlassung der Silicon Valley Bank hier in Frankfurt. Und jetzt habe ich nochmal 3 Fragen an ihn und das gesamte Interview lesen Sie dann wie immer in der nächsten Ausgabe der Banking News. Oscar, 2018 Silicon Valley Bank opened their first office in Germany. Why? And why so late?
Well, why was because as part of our continued European expansion, and we had identified Germany for quite some time as being a market after the UK that we wanted to and needed to enter into. Both the fact that Germany itself has got a long history of innovation with advanced manufacturing, precision engineering, robotics, life sciences, medical devices and instrumentation, etc. And then what we were seeing over the past few years, which is why so late, is we will begin to see an increase in the amount of capital being put into venture capital firms in Germany, and as a consequence, the amount of investment that venture capital firms were making into startup companies. Mm-hmm. And so that's really what drew us into Germany in 2018.
Okay, and what is your main focus for your business in Germany?
So our banking license in Germany is a lending license only to begin with. We're just doing lending, no operations yet. And we're focusing on 4 sectors. One is our classic emerging early company sector. These are working and lending to companies who are venture backed, who are still growing, they have minimum revenues, but they've been backed by top-tier German and pan-European venture capital firms who we know well, which allows us to go in and lend at an early stage venture debt, and then as those companies grow, we provide different types of working capital financing, a lot of SaaS revenue model lending, because a lot of our companies have got a subscription revenue, and all types of different debt products as these companies grow. The second sector in Germany for us is leveraged buyouts. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of leveraged buyout financing where we're working with private equity firms in Germany. We're lending into much more mature companies. These are profitable companies with EBITDA. We're lending a multiple of EBITDA. The private equity firm is putting in a large amount of equity. We're putting some debt on top of that. The third sector for us here in Germany is lending directly to the venture capital and private equity funds themselves. So at Silicon Valley Bank today, globally, we bank about 4,000 venture capital and private equity firms. Mm. And many of them have a line of credit with Silicon Valley Bank. We call it a capital call line, where they borrow from us in between calling capital from their LPs. It's just a way where they can better manage their capital calls so that if they're investing at a very, very fast pace, they don't have to keep calling capital from the LPs because that can be time consuming and a lot of paperwork. They can borrow from us, keep investing, and then call capital later in the year. Very big business for us. And then the fourth sector here in Germany will be focused on the public companies and the Mittelstand technology companies here in Germany. But we're not naive. We understand that those companies are scattered all around Germany in towns that I and many of my German colleagues have never heard of. They've got very close relationships with the local Sparkasse. But if they're looking for more innovation, more digitization, if they're looking to expand towards the US or China or markets where we are, it's an opportunity for us to get introduced to the management team and try and help differentiate ourselves through our knowledge and expertise of the technology industry. So it's 4 sectors: early stage, leveraged buyouts, lending to venture capital and private equity funds, and then larger technology companies in Germany.
Okay. My last question, it's a good idea to start with the banking business today when we see the GAFAs, cause Apple, Google, Amazon, to get more and more in the sector of banking and finance?
Well, there's no doubt that the banking industry is being disrupted. And there's no better example of that than actually looking at China and what Tencent has done over the past 5 or 6 years with their WeChat platform, which is the main social media platform in China. When WeChat introduced banking and investing services, they literally sucked out billions of dollars out of the Chinese banking system in a matter of weeks. Because, and what they've done is a great example for the Apples, the Googles, the Amazons. Today in China, anybody with a smartphone and a WeChat app, of which there's almost 800 million, they can make investments, they can borrow money, they can get a mortgage, they can pay friends, they can split a restaurant bill, all on the touch of their mobile phones. And so, yes, the banking industry is being disrupted, but there's still opportunities for banks to also adopt some of these technologies that they're seeing, because banks still have the advantage of having the customer today.
Okay. Yeah. Oscar, thank you very much for your answers. Und wie schon eingangs gesagt, das gesamte Interview, und ich kann Ihnen versprechen, das ist ein sehr spannendes Interview geworden, lesen Sie in der nächsten Ausgabe der Banking News. Bis bald.
Dankeschön.